there is going to be we're actually probably going to be doing a lot larger group of this week, but we wanted to just have a handful of you and just go through any questions you have on name, image, and likeness, where you're at, and just have open dialogue, right? You're all athletes. You're at the same age right now. And maybe what I can do. So first of all, Trey Triplette, who's on the call. Trey, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Trey. I'm director of athlete development for Huckle. I'm from San Diego. Grew up playing baseball and football. Junior year and senior year in high school, focused on football. After I graduated, I went to LSU and was on the football team there from 99 to 03. Since then, I've been doing a little bit working mixture of things, kind of everything sports related for the most part. Nutrition, do recruiting. I've coached. I do some advising and things like that with different guys, help them out with situations. And so I'm just kind of in that lane as far as sports. I really want you guys to win with this NIL. And before we get into it, that's kind of my main thing right now. I want to see you guys win and flip this game upside down and really make a benefit for the players. But you guys need some resources and understand how to do that. And there's probably some misconceptions between what you're seeing on TV and online and what the reality is.
Yeah, that's great, Trey. And then myself, Michael Kenny, I've been in marketing for 25 years, sports marketing for 20 years. I have a company called Three Big Wheels where I work with professional athletes and help them build their personal brand. And then also Huckle, which is our platform, which we're building right now, which is connecting athletes like you guys and companies for NIL deals. So what we wanted to do is just open this up, have dialogue. This is your time. Maybe Michael Donovan, you can introduce yourself, and then we'll go to Patrick and Zach.
Yeah. How you doing, guys? As Mr. Kenny said, Michael Donovan. I was long snapper at Michigan State University, but I entered the portal and I'm transferring to the University of Miami.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Congrats, Michael.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's about it, I guess.
Patrick.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm Patrick. I play golf at Marquette University in Milwaukee. Yeah.
Okay,
Nice
cool.
to meet you, Patrick.
Nice to meet you guys.
Zach.
Hi, guys. I'm Zach Daudet. I play baseball at Regis University in Denver, Colorado. And, yeah, super excited.
What position?
Shortstop.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. So, yeah, so what we've been concepting around this of sort of like name, image, and likeness is just, you know, what are you guys hearing? What are the challenges that you have? What are the questions that you have? We just sort of wanted to make this literally a conversation more than us like giving you information. You know, we certainly have information that we can share with you after this call, but I think, you know, this is really your time to ask us any questions that you have and just sort of what you're hearing, what's going on with your teams, what your school is doing, all of that.
I'd like to maybe start with Michael, and because Miami is an interesting case in terms of what they're doing for NIL. Are you familiar with what their program and philosophy is, Michael?
I am not, just because I recently committed like a week ago.
Okay.
I've read some stuff with I know the last name Ruiz, and I saw.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure completely what he's doing though.
All right. So Miami is really kind of at the forefront. It's Miami and really Texas A&M are being, and also USC are being the most aggressive with NIL. And what they're doing is they're really, really harnessing the power of the collectives to bring in talent and to take care of you guys and treat you guys right and, you know, put some money in your pockets. Miami has that gentleman that you named, Ruiz. And, you know, what they're doing is with the collectives, there's two sides of NIL. Let's start here, and then maybe we open up some broader conversation. There's two sides of NIL. You have what Miami's doing, then you probably have something that maybe Marquette or Regis is doing, right? Miami is really doing something really far to the left in the sense as far as collectives. And so what they're doing is, let's say a round number. Say, you know, the collective is going to give you, Michael, you're going to say they're going to give you $50,000 for a long snapper, okay?
Okay.
They're going to give you that $50,000. They may or may not spread that over multiple years. So you may not collect all that money, okay? Second thing they're doing is when you go and align yourself with different companies and brands, they're considering that 50,000 they gave you in advance, and so you have to be made whole again before you start taking the lion's share of any profits, of any money that comes your way, as far as any companies or brands that want to sponsor you or anything like that. It's a sliding scale that they utilize. So the more that you get closer to paying off that 50,000 and making it back, the more that you're retaining profits from any marketing deals that's coming forward, right? So then the collective, they also have no mechanism for you to obtain those marketing deals within their current setup. So you're left with the athlete is two options. You go get an agent, or you use a platform like Huckle, okay? Now, with an agent, they're going to take a percentage of your money as well as a collective. So before you even see a dime, two hands are in the pot before you even get to grab what's in the pot for yourself in the situation that we're talking about. With Huckle, okay, now you're able to go on there and essentially any companies that you want to work with, or any companies that want to work with you, you could essentially say, hey, you may or may not have the ability to configure that deal to the best interest of that you need it to in order to make it financially beneficial and maximize those opportunities. So you can tell the company, hey, let's do business on Huckle, and there's a couple of benefits to doing that. One is as an athlete, you're not going to be charged any fees. So the company wants to give you $1,000, you keep 1,000, the full 1,000. There's no fees charged towards you. You have a buffer of protection, mediator, so to speak, right? Baseball, you're a baseball guy. You know what mediation is. When the guys want to get their bread, that goes with mediation. We're essentially a mediation buffer to where we keep the process positive, we keep it flowing, keep everything intact, and basically keep any negative outcomes from transpiring by the way we set up things. We also guarantee you're going to get paid. Okay, that's one of the biggest things we're hearing across the board with these NIL opportunities. Our athletes are doing the work and they're not getting paid, or they're getting led to believe they're going to get an opportunity and they invest in some money or resources or time, whatever it may be, and then they don't get paid. We eliminate that from ever happening by the way we have things set up. Whenever the opportunity starts, we take control of the money. We make sure you get paid if you're due to get paid. Zero chance of getting stiffed at all, right? So back to Miami. It didn't work out for the football team as the record reflected last year with obtaining talent. Things maybe should change this year, but that's kind of one of the ways that NIL is being used. And really, I hate that they say that's NIL because it's not. I'd rather they use the term collective because there's nothing NIL involved in those type of situations. It's a pretty much straight up payment. Now, for Michael, there's some things that, if you have come into contact with the reads of this collective, there's some things that you can take into account, and I'll put it in the chat here shortly, that you'd want to pay specific attention to within the agreement that you'd be involved with. Okay. Now, the true form of NIL, the way that it was made to work, is the way that we're doing with Huckle, which is you aligning yourself or marketing a product or service for a company or brand. Right? You're using your platform as an athlete, traveling to different territories, different venues, with lots of media, online coverage, offline coverage. Utilize that to further the marketing of a product or service, right? That is the way that it was supposed to be utilized, and that's the way we're doing it, to create authentic marketing opportunities, right? So you guys can align yourself with these companies or brands. Now, what I want to tell you guys specifically about how to, now that we've kind of gone over these different aspects of NIL, and I'm sure you guys have caught on by now the difference between the two sides. How do you make that happen? How do you do that? You see a lot of people, a lot of guys are online, on Twitter, Instagram, getting these deals, this and this and this. How do you obtain these deals? Okay, two things that you don't do. There's two things that you can do that will guarantee that you will not get any looks your way for opportunities. Right? Is posting highlight tapes and videos of you training. Everybody looks good in their own highlight tape. That doesn't tell me anything. You're not going to put a bad highlight tape, are you? Of yourself, are you? Okay, then. So everybody looks good, right? So what's the point? So everybody looks good. What's the differentiator? There's no difference, right? Putting yourself working out. Hey, it's great that you're working out and staying fit. How does that tell me who you are as a person? What value does the company or brand going to see in you working out? Every athlete works out. Great. What What it's really about, how you really obtain these deals, is you show who you are as a person off the field. What are your true passions and interests? Is it fishing? Is it mudding? Is it painting? Is it traveling? Is it cooking? What is it? What is it that you like to do? That's how you're going to get these different brands and companies' attentions and want them to invest in you and give you different opportunities to put money in your pocket. Who you are off the field, right? And leveraging that. And for instance, so Zach, what type of bats do you use?
DeMarini bats.
DeMarini, okay. So example, so if you want to get DeMarini's attention, you can do one of two things. You can look at an approach like this. You can maybe create a 30-second clip and say, hey, this is why I like DeMarini bats. They're light, they're powerful, they work with my stand, whatever that may be, right? Not just you hitting with the bat. Give some context into how that bat fits into your life, right? Yeah. That'd be something like that. Or you can take the opposite approach. Like, so I was talking to a good friend of mine yesterday. Their daughter plays softball. She's the #1 travel team in the country, and they're sponsored by DeMarini. I say, hey, but they said they can't use any other bats. I say, well, they put anything in writing? I was like, no. I said, here's what you do. You go get their rival competitor, use their bat, create content, use it in the game, and they're going to wonder, why aren't you using their bat? Well, you haven't made it beneficial for me to use your bat. I can do the same thing with another bat. What's good about yours? Right? Do the same type of thing I told you to do with the Easton bat. Why do you like it? How does it work for me? Is it light? Is it powerful? Do you like the grip? That's how you're going to get these different brands' attention, by showing them that you understand how to sell or market their product, right? Anybody can hit a home run, but how do we get to the point from, the bat being in store to hitting a home run? Like, what transpired in between that process? So I don't want to go too deep in that, but that's kind of some of the things that's the mentality that you want to have when you guys are out here putting content online, putting it on Twitter, putting it on Instagram, putting it wherever you put it, TikTok. Are you telling a story? Are you telling something about yourself, right? And then, from an athlete perspective, everybody likes a winner, right? So that helps, right? But it's more of, hey, are you solidified? Or do you have a passion for what you're doing? Do you love what you do? Are you willing to go the extra mile to get that competitive advantage and win? Does it show in your body language and your personality? What makes you different? Are you respected by the other long snappers? Are you respected by the other shortstops? Are you respected by the other golf players? I don't mean that they like you, but when you show up on the court, do they have to account for that you're here, and they got to come with their A game because you're going to be on their heels? That type of thing. So even if people don't necessarily vocally will acknowledge you, they're still paying attention, and there's eyeballs on you, and companies and brands can kind of see, where you rank within your category, how well you're respected, what kind of approach you take to the game, kind of where you are in your respective craft, right? I think all three of you guys have great opportunities, because a lot of what you hear for NIL is about mainly football, right? A little bit of basketball, but you as a long snapper, you're a specialist. There's tons of opportunities with that, man. There's only one or two of you guys on the team, unlike O-line where there's 12 deep. The room is big, lots of opportunity. As a golfer, hey man, you're always on a golf course being viewed by media, different people. You're like a walking billboard. Okay? Same thing with you, playing shortstop. You guys are walking billboards and entities in every venue, every location you go to. Travel to the airport, travel with your team. You guys are walking billboards. You guys are actual entities, and so it's you guys have a lot of opportunity. It's really about how you present yourself. What are you doing differently than everybody else is doing in your respective craft? How do you differentiate yourself? What makes you special? Because when companies and brands want to do business with you, you're going to want to get into the business of you as a person, right? Who are you as a person in terms of personalities in who you are, market and sell products, not how good the player is. That definitely helps being a winner because everybody knows who you are, but at the same time, that's just a part of it, right?
Yeah,
being one of your field.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think we take very seriously. The reason we're connecting athletes like you with brands, We're saying through interest and passion. So Trey mentioned the idea around the baseball bat company. Unfortunately, when you look at, well, not unfortunately, but if you just look at the products that are in your space, so football, golf, baseball, you're in line with, hundreds of other athletes asking for the same thing, right? So that becomes a challenging prospect in and of itself. The reason we're saying, what are you interested and passionate about outside of your sport, means suddenly you become first in line working with a brand that wants to get in your respective sport, but there's not hundreds of other athletes doing that. It's you. That's the passion and interest part. So if you say, I really like travel, I really like, Michael, I know you said helping special needs, like those things are incredibly important. And when you say that, and companies know that about you, those are the things that are qualifiers, I think, for you for opportunities. So that's where we're saying, go beyond your sport, go into what your interest sets are. And if you can speak from those from an authentic place, then that's what companies are looking for. And you have a lot of markability. As Trey said, you're walking billboards, you're out there, you're doing the sport, and you've got a lot of marketability. So we want to make sure that you know that.
Right. There's so many things you guys come into contact with that people would love to associate with you guys on the level that you guys play your sport at.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would just say like this, like don't necessarily think you have to knock it out of the park the first time. What I mean by that is, don't think you have to go and get a deal with a Nike or Amazon or UPS, something like that. There's a lot of other companies that would love to associate themselves with you. And this is brand building. You got to work your way up. None of you got to where you're at overnight. It was a process, right? You guys had to learn different skill set along the way, how to be proficient and be the best that you can be at your respective sport. Nothing happened overnight. So I'm saying is you have to build yourself up. And so don't throw your nose up at the mom and pop's brand, because the mom and pops can be a nationwide brand in a year or two from now. And if you get up early, hey, you're sitting in the cat seat, bro. Like you're gonna be ideal. All right? Yeah.
Totally agree. Okay, so for you guys, questions that you have. Michael, congrats on going to Miami, by the way.
Thank you.
Have you heard from have you been approached from the collective yet?
I have not. No.
Okay.
I probably won't until I get on campus. I assume, but
yeah. When did they make it public that you're on the team?
They said I can announce it, but I'm waiting on a social media graphic. So, yeah.
I just put some in the chat. That first one for you, specifically for you, Michael, but it's for all of you guys. He's just probably a little more ahead of the game, being that his situation at Miami, they have a collective and they're very active. So definitely take a look at that, Michael, but also Patrick and Zach, take a look at that as well. I don't know, what conference is Marquette in? Remind me, what conference is Marquette in?
Yeah, we're in the Big East, and they actually in the early this fall they announced their own collective.
Okay, well there you go.
They've mainly only worked with the basketball team so far.
Right.
I think they're open to it because obviously basketball is huge at Marquette. But they're slowly opening it up to other athletes too. So
okay, cool.
I'm a golfer, Patrick. So you got marketability there. You can do it.
Yeah. And then, you guys have any questions so far?
I have one question about the collective. So you mentioned there's obviously NIL, and you talked about the collective.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what does collective mean? They just pay every player? I'm confused on how that works.
Yeah. So the collective they'll pull their money and decide how that money is allocated to different players. And so, for example, like at SMU, their collective is playing all their I think it was across the board. They're paying everybody like $35,000. Okay. So they'll dish it out to you. It could be over a period of years. Academic years could be over a period of months. Could be a lump sum up front. But they have no direct affiliation with the school, but they really do. And so it's basically like another stipend. Okay, look at it that way.
Okay.
Right, but coming from an external source that's not related with the school.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, Trey, do you? So I have a question on that.
Mhm.
If you're an athlete, do you have to go through the collective? If you go through the collective, can you do other things in addition to the collective? Where is that at?
Okay, so the question, so that's really going to be something you want to ask as well too. And just kind of consider when you're dealing with the collectives, because some collectives will want to retain creative control over what content that you decide to put out. Right. Some collectives maybe want to make an exclusive deal with you to where you have to bring all the deals through them. So, you just want to keep an eye out for that. It just depends on what that collective is equipped to do. If they're solely a financing arm, then they probably won't make it exclusive, and they're probably going to steer you towards more working towards an agent. And I don't know that that's necessarily needed, because and agents knows negotiation. Agents know contracts. They know how to work within a defined criteria. Most agents don't know marketing. Okay, it's just what it is. They don't. But each one is different. So answer that question. Each one is different. It's something that you definitely want to consider and ask, and make a point of bringing it up in conversation. Say, hey, do I have to bring any opportunities by you for approval? Do I have to exclusively go through any type of intermediary or any type of company to do my marketing opportunities? And ask those type of questions. All right.
Well, and I would say that for all of you, whether it's collective or not, if you're going to sign into an agreement, make sure you have someone in your corner knowing what you're signing, right? That's really important for you all.
Yep.
Unfortunately, so we'll give you some of the things that we've seen with name, image, and likeness. The number one complaint is that athletes are signing into deals, they're doing the work, and the companies are not paying them. So that first and foremost is not a good deal for you guys, and it's been a complaint for a lot of the athletes. So what we're saying is, whether it's Huckle or another marketplace, obviously we're promoting Huckle, we would say, come to Huckle and you're in a secure marketplace. So in our platform, as an example, what happens is if a company comes on and they decide to work with one of you athletes, they have to put money in our bank account, and you're guaranteed the money is there that you do the job. So you want a secure marketplace to be like protecting you. The deals that you're signing into, we've seen a lot of the deals. These athletes are signing away their rights in perpetuity, which means forever. They're not. So you need to read the fine print, as they say. Like, know what you're signing into. Make sure that you're aware of the deals that you're doing. Now, a lot of companies are doing this on the up, meaning they are good deals and the contracts are good. All we're saying is you need to cover your bases. And just because there's a deal in front of you does not mean that you need to sign it. You need to be made aware of what you're signing into, and how you're protected. Those are really important for you. The other thing that we've learned is, I think collectives, as Trey was mentioning, so with name, image, and likeness right now, everything is full. We keep saying wild, wild west. And I think if you read in the media, everyone's saying the same thing. You hear the words total chaos, wild, wild west, free for all. And that's very much what the marketplace is. So that means there's really no rules and regulations on a grand scale to protect you. So you need to protect yourself. And I don't want to say that as an alarming way. That's just simply pointing out the facts for you. If you're going into decision making informed, you read all of the documentation, you know exactly what you're doing, and you're good with that, then you've made a decision, right? And you should be good with that. You've made an informed decision. If you're going in thinking that companies are taking care of you, you're going to be totally fine, and you're going to sign any agreement, that is not an informed decision. That is simply signing an agreement. So you need to be in a position where you're paying attention, you're looking at all the facts, and you're good with the decision making that you're making. That's the thing that we're encouraging all the athletes to do. Anything else you want to say on that, Trey?
No, I think you hit it on. I think you hit it on the head with that. just be mindful of who's in your corner, even with anybody who's going to represent you. Make sure that they're in the business of you and not the business of your sport.
Right.
Right.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
When you say like in your corner, do you mean like strictly an agent, or like, for example, whenever I got approached, I would just show my dad?
Michael, that's it. Yeah.
So,
in your corner. I think that 100% that's it. Like, have someone. Now, a lot of people, a lot of athletes don't have somebody like your dad who's savvy in contracts and all that.
Yeah.
What we're saying is, in that example, on our platform, we can actually be in your corner, right?
Okay.
Which is like, we're not going to put any deals out there which are obstructive or taking advantage of athletes. We're putting deals on the platform that we know are going to be mutually beneficial to both parties.
Okay.
So in your corner, 100%, Michael, is whatever your resources are.
Awesome.
Check them. Have them, take a look at that. And if you don't have the resources, to which a lot of athletes don't have, then be on a platform like Huckle, where we're going to take care of you. It's just in our DNA and what our mission is as a company, to take care of the athletes. That those are your resources, but somewhere in there you need to have some gating factor for you.
Okay. Thank you.
And even just to add on that, even from the standpoint, even if you have somebody in your corner who is savvy with contracts, and let's just say you're able to hammer out a deal, you get it going, you're doing the work, everything's good. Then when it's come time for them to pay you, that they, for whatever reason, they want to backtrack on paying you. Okay, even at that point, you still got to go through a process of collecting that money. It's going to cost you time, effort, resources to go ahead and just collect them. Even if you have a contract and don't pay you, you've got to go through that process of collecting that money. Whereas in Huckle, that's not the case, because we have possession of the money. If you say you did it, we prove you did it. You did it. Hey, the money will be released to you. On to the next. Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It just kind of want, I maybe give you some more tangible examples. I think that will help with you guys as far as how to visualize, how to actually get into this space, right? So, give you an example. I like bar. I like putting on almost everything that I eat, right? So, if I wanted to get a opportunity from a barbecue sauce company, I would maybe go around to different restaurants in my area, or go to a grocery store in my area and start, ranking and do like a taste test for the barbecue sauces that I like. Maybe I'll do like a record it and drop it on Instagram or Twitter and say, hey, here are my top 5 barbecue sauces or barbecue places that I like. Give yourself a little rating. Talk about what the difference of each is, so you can people kind of see that even though you don't have a culinary degree, you're still very nuanced to understand what you like in a barbecue sauce. You can explain what you like in a very communicative way, so people are like, okay, yeah, I understand why he likes that. This and this and this. So I would do that. Maybe do like a podcast session where you go over different barbecue sauces, do a taste test, or do something along those lines. Because now you're generating competition amongst those brands, and they see that you can communicate. You have the opportunity to create a bidding war for your services to align yourself with one or more of the barbecue companies and be a spokesman for them. Because now, hey, you're authentic. Nobody's paid you so far. You're just going around giving your honest opinion about what you like, and it comes across genuine. And they say, okay, yeah. Well, he likes us. He communicated that very well. Hey, let's look at him and see if we can do something with him. Things like that you can use as momentum to get yourself in situations that are going to benefit you, for the companies and brands will reach out to you, or you can start monetizing things yourself. It's stuff like that, situations like that would get you in a position to have those type of opportunities afforded to you.
I agree. One of the things, excuse me, I think as athletes, you all understand it takes very hard work to get to where you're at, right? So you're used to hard work. Name, image, and likeness is the same exact thing. So to think that, people are going to approach you and knock on your door just out of sheer fact that you're an athlete may or may not be the case. It may happen, but if you're willing to do the work, meaning you go out and you show what you're passionate about, what you're interested about, and you share who you are as an individual above and beyond your sport, that is the hard work of developing name, image, and likeness. I think a lot of athletes are under the impression that, you know, it's going to be the quarterback on the football team. Yes, they're going to get the deals. We know about that. But then everyone's like, we literally, there was supposed to be someone on the call today who's on the Notre Dame lacrosse team, and he's incredibly marketable. The three of you, incredibly marketable. But you need to go out and show that these are the things that you're interested in to actually go get those opportunities. Now, Michael, I think you're in a different situation where the collective is probably going to approach you. But even when that happens, you have to be in a decision-making mindset, right? Which is like, is that the best thing for you? And I would argue it is 100% dependent upon what they're asking you to sign and whether or not you're comfortable with that. But the reality is you're all marketable. The three of you are marketable. Mm-hmm. And it's a matter of like going out, doing the work, showing who you are, and like making the world available, making the world know about you and that you're available and to do name, image, and likeness deals. A lot of athletes are going to say, and I'm sure they're your peers, I'm not getting any deals. My question to them would be, how much work are you doing to get those deals? It is incumbent upon you to do the work. And that's the thing where we're like, if you do the work on our platform, we get you there and you do the work to show who you are. And we're going to help you. You did the work. We're also going to help you. And I think those are the environments that you want to be in.
It's just a new part of the game that's opened up to you guys that none of you guys got here where you're at being lazy on the field.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to take that same approach and take that off the field. So now you guys being the college athletes, you've got the college sports lane, you've got your academic lane, now you've got an NIL lane. So the same way that you're aggressive and you attack and you strive to be the best in your athletic lane, and you do the same thing in the academic lane, now you have a new line of opportunity that you can do then in the NIL lane. And so now it's about creating that same value for yourself. The same way you created value to get where you're at, to be on a college team, to show that you're competent and one of the top guys at your position in order to get where you're at, you got to create that same value for yourself off the field in terms of NIL by, expressing who you are and telling more of yourself and aligning yourself with your past interests. It's the same mentality, just a different lane of the pool. That's all it is.
I totally agree. And now, so I have an agency, Three Big Wheels, and I work with professional athletes and I help them build their personal brands. And that means they do what they do on field or on court, and I help them off the field. So how do you parlay what you're doing as an athlete into something more financially? And one of the things that I know, literally I have a calendar on my computer of when I know the athletes are not competing, because when they're competing, I have very little contact with them. And so the reason I bring that up is because there are things that you can do to plant seeds, like our platform is an example where you plant seeds, you do the work, and then opportunities can possibly come to you. If you are 100% focused on your craft of sport, and I know all athletes do, and you're not cultivating NIL, you're not going to get NIL deals. So the reason I mention that is because you can do enough work to not distract from your training as an athlete and still plant seeds for opportunities so that you can get name, image, and likeness deals. That's really important because, as I mentioned, a lot of the professional athletes I work with, as soon as they go into their sport, I never hear from them. That's 9 months. Well, that's 9 months of not getting opportunities when you could be doing small things to be able to get those opportunities. So I would just encourage you to say, as Trey mentioned, you've got scholastics, you've got your sport, you now have name, image, and likeness. Just plant seeds in those areas. See if something happens so that you actually can get some deals there. I don't think you can be complacent. I don't think you can expect that just because you're an athlete, things are going to come to you. So that means you're doing the work. And how do you do the work when you're not distracting from your training? You also have to figure out that balance. I do not believe it's a detriment to what you're doing for your training. That's the thing where I think you need to find a unique balance.
I had a question.
What's up?
So when we talk about doing the work, is that more kind of being more active on social media? Is it kind of posting more often? Stuff
So
like that?
good question. I would say yes and no. I would say yes, you definitely want to have a social media footprint and a presence, but I also say it'd be more just getting into what do you actually like and what do you enjoy doing off the field that you can monetize. Like I'm sure you heard the saying, like if you're the best in what you do, the money will be there. If you're a bricklayer, if you're the best bricklayer, the money will be there. What do you truly like, have a passion for? And I would say look at it like this. You guys are athletes. You were very regimented. From the time you wake up to the time you get back home, you come in contact with so many touch points of different things throughout the day. I would just say, hey, start off with be more cognizant with what you're coming into contact with on every single day that you're walking around campus, going to practice, going here, going there, and realize that, hey, is there an opportunity here? Can I monetize this? Do I like doing this? See the different things you come into contact with and just start there and see if there's something that you're currently doing that you can expand on, right? And just kind of start there.
Yeah. And Zach, I would also say that, yes, I think social media is just a good thing because you get your name out there and, what the things you're interested. It's not all about social media. In fact, one of the things that we do on our platform is, there's many ways you can make money on our platform. It can be speaking engagements, endorsements, appearances, all these different things, and includes social media. Is social media the end all be all? I think the answer to that is no. Does social media help you? I would say yes. But social media should just be an extension of who you are. I think it should be intentional, which is I'm not doing this post because I want to get more people to like me. I'm doing this post because it's very meaningful to me. Those are the differences, right? So if your intent is I want to put more posts out because I want to share more of myself, then I would encourage you to do that. If you feel pressured that you need to put posts out there, I would say that in and of itself is the reason you shouldn't be putting posts out there. It's a pressure. It's not a reality. So those things are, again, as Trey mentioned, if it's very important to you, then yes. How do you cultivate your brand? Social is certainly one of those things. But you can cultivate it in many different ways. It can be community-based. It can be podcast. It can be, live Instagram Q&As. It can be a number of things. Speaking engagements on campus. Like there's a number of things that you can do that are available to you that if you're real with yourself and you're saying, these are the things that are incredibly important to me, you can find the way to get the message out there. And that's what we're saying you should do.
I want to add on to that and just like, give you guys an example. So first I want to say this. It doesn't have to be all online. Right, you can be active in the community. Like if there's different businesses and different things you like to go to around where you guys are staying at, hey, go and engage live and in person. But you have to have a way to capture that moment, right? So podcast, pictures, recordings. You have to have a way to capture that because you guys can only be at so many places at one time. So if you can say you're having a good time at a what kind of place here? Say it's a healthy restaurant. Go in there and engage and know who the manager is. Know if the owner's on site. Introduce yourself. Say, hey, I play baseball. Hey, I play golf. I play football. Hey, I like coming into this place because of this and this and this. And start developing those type of relationships. Just hey, when you have a good time in there, you like the food, capture that moment as well. So you can do things both in person, but you can also capture those moments so you can replay those again online to your benefit, right? And so the way you guys are moving golf and baseball and football, when you guys travel to go to games, you guys are always in hotels, right? So if you wanted to create a relationship with a hotel chain, you guys can start doing hotel everywhere you stay. You can do a detailed hotel review and get the attention of these companies. So now when you travel places, now they'll give you free nights or pay you to go stay in their hotels because you've shown how the hotel is a great stay for athletes or for coming to these different type of events and how they cater to the event of your games and things like that. So different things like that. Just something you can do is like review the hotel room and start create a vlog. Hey, here's all my hotel reviews from during the season. Here was the best hotel all season. Here's my top 3 hotels and why. Stuff like that is organic stuff that hotels will love. And just for example, in that situation, hotels would love to see from somebody like yourself, giving an authentic review that does more than a Yelp review because it's visual. It's more authentic. It's come from somebody who actually has to utilize their services for what they do, right? For more or less employment purposes and for kind of what you guys are doing, what you guys got going on. So it says a lot of things, and that's just how you create value for yourself.
Yeah, agreed. So do you guys have any other questions?
Yeah, I have one quick one.
Yes.
So, as I mentioned to you, Mr. Kenny, I have autoimmune disease.
Yes.
Vitiligo. It's pretty popular. Not like obviously not popular, but like pretty well known. It's
Prevalent, yeah.
It's like the skin pigment right here.
Mhm.
Wondering, like, I want to get involved with that community, but since it's such like a small community, I don't know how to market myself for that. I don't know how to get myself known in that type of community.
So that's a really good question. So first of all, the fact that you're connecting with something that is personal to you and that you want to work with, I think is the first start, right? Like that in and of itself is amazing.
Mhm.
I look at that and say, that's somebody who's got a voice in the market. They understand, they not only do they relate to it, they have it. And they want to make a meaningful impact. Like if you just start there, that's an amazing start, Michael. Literally. I don't think a lot of people would go out and do that. So just starting there is amazing. I think, it's a matter of who are the players in the space. And this is something I can help you with. Who are the players in the space and what are the things that you want to do? So is that a company that helps treat that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a support group where people have voices and are, need help dealing with it? That's another group. Is it I have this story and I want to share this story? I think all of those can be in play. And what you need to determine is like, what's the most important to you? Once you determine that, and as I mentioned to you, excuse me, we'll help you with that. And you and I can have that conversation and be like, all right, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to talk to children about it? Do you want to be in appearances about it? Do you want to do a commercial about it? Like there's so many different things that we can look at, but I think the fact that you're in touch with it and want to do something with it is the most engaging thing.
Okay.
And we start there. And then we just need to determine what are the things that are important to you. And I say what's important to you because the companies are going to come to all of you and they're going to say, this is what we want. The reason on our platform we're saying, what are your passions and interests is because we also want what you want.
Mm-hmm.
We want the athletes to have what they want. It's not just about the companies. It's about you. And it's about connecting you with what's important to you. And if we start there, then what happens for the companies is going to be natural because it's already important to you. And that's the meaningful marketing thing. So again, to your point, Michael, we can figure that out. But I think what we need to do go through is like, what's the hierarchy for you of interest? And then let's figure out what that approach would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I want to add on to that too. That was great. I want to add on to just from everything you both of you said. What I get is what I'm thinking about for you, Michael, is for this situation is you playing a physical sport. Okay, you're in a Power 5 conference, playing for a great university. Okay, you're playing a contact sport. You're always exposed to inclement weather, a lot of heat. Okay, so how do you deal with that and still compete? What do you use? What do you use in your life to manage that situation? What helps you maintain and still be competitive in that environment, dealing with that issue? Is it a lotion? Is it a cream? Is it a pill? Is it a support group? What is it? What is it that helps you be able to thrive in your sport dealing with that situation, right? And there's probably a company, a brand or group that you can align yourself with that you're probably already utilizing that can be exposed and communicated differently to help you out.
Okay. That's actually, I was thinking about that because, as you said, like hobbies and stuff, barbecue sauce. I like fishing, and there's this specific like long sleeve T-shirt that blocks the sun, and it's like
There you go.
Yeah, I just realized that, so
There you go.
I could say something about that.
Right. And so I'm sure that Patrick and Zach, you guys have something similar in your life that you guys do along those lines that you're probably not recognizing right now. That's some opportunity for you there, right? It could be something that you're already doing that, hey, just kind of repurpose it and rethink about it and say, hey, what I'm going through, how do I deal with this? And how do I still play golf and train? And how do I still go out and take ground balls and perform well and not get tired and yada, yada, yada? How does that factor into your life?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
I had a question kind of on the Huckle site. What's kind of the best way to like write your the bio section? What kind of to attract brands? Kind of what's the
good question?
What should be that section, and kind of like how long should it be? Sort of, is it more explaining kind of your interests outside of your sport, or do you still want to give a background on kind of who you are with your sport as well?
Well, I think that's a great question, Zach. So I would say it is very much all the above. We certainly want to know, I mean, think of it if you were in the perspective of a company and you were trying to connect with somebody, or right. So it's like, or, we always talked about it as like a matchmaking service. So I don't know if you're on any dating sites, but maybe you will be in your future. It's like, tell me about yourself. Like, what's the essence of you? And it's very much like, we know, here are the things that we do know. We know that companies are coming on because they want to work with athletes. So there's a part of your bio, which is your athletic prowess. Why are you doing what you're doing? How you got to where you're at, what you're playing, your competitive nature. There's that. Then there's also, and here's the real me. And now, granted, our platform right now is an MVP, which is our minimum viable product. We're going to develop it more and more and more. And we're going to be asking, I think, more prompting questions around the bio of like, make sure you share with yourself. What are interests? What are things that are really passionate? So I think it's a great question. And I think a lot of athletes that are going to come on the platform are going to be thinking the same. What's the best way to do it? And the way, I think certainly I've got a perspective on it. It is, who are you? Why, who are you? Share that with us. And those can be all different types of things and colors and interests and whatever it is. It's a kaleidoscope for everybody who comes on. But when you share that, I, as a company, when I'm connecting with athletes, can get to learn who I can connect with, and on a way different level than just I want to do this deal because I want to do this deal. So the more you can provide about yourself, whatever those things are, I think the better off you are.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say tell what you are, which is an athlete, right? So I'm a junior shortstop at Regis in Denver. We're back-to-back conference champions. And we play teams in the Pacific Northwest and West Coast region, right? So I pretty much know exactly what you are and what type of athlete you are and what capacity. I also want to know who you are. Hey, when I'm not playing baseball, like fishing, I love pizza, but I can't stand anchovies. This and this and this, right? I want to know what you are, right, on the field. Give me in synopsis about, so that the layperson, so anybody who doesn't understand sports, they know just who you are, and then tell me who you are. So I want to know everything from, what you like to do off the field to where you're going to be traveling for your games, right? So everything in between, to be able to give a very good, detailed, but condensed kind of overview of who you are as a person and kind of what you do athletically.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's really helpful.
Okay, guys. Any other questions? We've got 10 minutes left. No? Okay. All right. Well, yeah, go ahead,
I would
Trey.
say for you two guys that do have collectives, I would say I would definitely approach your collective, but I would approach them with prepared and with the game plan, the way that most athletes don't. Say, hey, here's what I like. Here's what I got going on. Here's the value I present and offer. And what can we talk about? What's on the table? I would approach them and be ready to explain who you are, what you are, how you bring value to the table, what you want specifically, right? Hey, I want creative control. Here's what I want, yada, yada, yada. And if you, Zachary, specifically, because you don't have a collective, you're going to be having to deal with it in a more direct regard. And so, like I say, just things we talked about, creating value for yourself, getting into who you are and what you like to do, and setting yourself up to where these brands will now come to you by leveraging your platforms and things you like to do and capturing that type of content, from the barbecue sauce example to the hotel reviews to the long sleeve shirt to everything. Kind of take that approach.
Yeah, and the other thing I would mention on that, so first of all, I totally agree with what Trey mentioned. We built a platform for athletes. Like we're looking out for you. That's the whole reason we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a concern that with name, image, and likeness, the athletes feel like, as which has always been, is that they're the ones that the companies are dictating to them what should be done and what should not be done. I would argue you are part of that decision making. So you connect with companies that really resonate with you. You do deals that really resonate with you. You're not pressured into doing deals. And you're also you're not signing into something which is egregiously against your best interests, which is a lot of the agreements. So that's why I said have somebody in your corner. If you don't, we're it. We'll be it, even if you do have somebody in your corner, and realize that you're sitting at the table. I encourage you to interview the company just as much as they're interviewing you, straight up, right? So you are the marketing arm that they're going to be using.
Bingo. And
with that, you have a voice. You should not be pressured into anything. So go into that. Sit at the table with equal presence as the company. It's not just about them interviewing you. You've got a lot of say in the program and what you're going to do. It's your decision making.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I will say one more thing, as far as the reason why we're so confident we know that there's value in each one of guys, what you're doing, is because sports marketing is the number one lane for marketing dollars. Think about it. You guys all play sports. We all watch sports. Nobody wants to watch a rerun or a recording of sports. Everybody wants to see the sports live, which means eyeballs. So sports naturally has the most live eyeballs of any type of other medium of entertainment, because nobody wants to watch a recorded sports program. They want to see it live. So right then and there, that's where there's value in every aspect of what you guys are doing. Sports marketing is the only lane that increased during the pandemic, right? Sports marketing is the lane that everybody really wants to be in. It's the most effective. But everybody can't be on CBS. Everybody can't be on ESPN, right? So there's opportunities for you guys to be a company or brand, be their version of ESPN for that product or service, what you're marketing, right? As far as getting that awareness out there and the different places you travel and things like that. So just know there is value in each one of your sports and what you're doing, because there is value in sports marketing. That is the place where marketing happens, because like I said, nobody wants to watch a recorded sports program.
Yeah. Well, and we're all fans of the three of you. We're hoping big things for you. And yeah, it was good to spend the time with you guys.
I want to see all you guys win. You guys got so much opportunity and privilege that I didn't have when I was playing sports. Like, the transfer schools was non-existent. To be able to make money was non-existent. Like, real quick, I'll tell you that story. So the reason we used to get around NIL when I played sports was giving you a summer job you never had to show up to. Okay? That's what they used to do when I was in college. You get a summer job, never show up, but you get paid. Okay, so it's much. You guys have so much opportunity. I want to see you guys really flip this on its head and really bring the power back to the players, because I feel that the way that we're going, NIL and the portal, the coaches and the schools are getting the best of you guys, and I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah.
And it's starting to shift where they're getting the advantage from these different points, and I want to see you guys be able to take that power back and keep it. Right, so a more educated athlete about how to market themselves is a better athlete to really switch things around. And I want to see all you guys win.
Yeah, that's great, Trey. I totally agree. So if you guys have any other questions after this call, please let us know. Shoot us an email. We're in your corner. As I said, have somebody in your corner. We're in your corner. So we wish you the best. And again, if you have any questions, let us know and we'll address them. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Happy New Year to all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah,
All right.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
Thank
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.